The Savings Catcher automatically compares prices to the top stores in the area.
No more driving around town.
If there's a lower advertised price on an item I bought, Walmart gives me the difference on an e-gift card. Oh, money!
It's so easy, even a parent can do it.
Try the Savings Catcher for yourself. Go to walmart.com/savingscatcher and enter your receipt. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Listen up, Thunder Dragons. It's time to get a hotel.
Hey, Razor, check this out. We can save big with Priceline Express deals.
You know what, man? These guys ain't no dragons.
They're cool. These deals are legit.
Hey, we're cool.
She's cool. We're cool.
Shields need swish. Shields need swish. It's back to school. There's a new
Kleenex tissues are thick and absorbent. In this lab demo, they help stop moisture better than the leading competitors' everyday tissue. Pick some up today.
Pillsbury knows that bold, bright color makes everything more exciting. Like these 4 amazing colors of Pillsbury Funfetti that turn everyday moments into celebrations of delicious fun. Celebrate more vibrantly.
You owned your car for 4 years. You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls, and you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for Better Car Replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
This is Bill. His doubleheader day at the park starts with back pain and a choice. Take 4 Advil in a day.
It's on. The games are on. The coverage is on. The action is on the all-new SEC network. And it's all on Xfinity, where you get the most live college football, including the Pac-12 networks, the Big Ten Network, and ESPN Goal Line, plus the X1 Sports app to experience it all like never before. You can't get all this with DirecTV. Enjoy the all-new SEC network on TV and on the go with Watch ESPN starting August 14th. On Xfinity, your home for the most live sports.
Can your DVR record all your favorite shows at once?
It only records, I think, 2 shows at a time.
And you can't change a channel.
No, I hate having to make the decision which one am I going to let go.
With Xfinity, record 4 shows at the same time and watch a 5th live.
This is amazing.
So now everything's basically on your schedule.
I don't have to miss any shows.
You can get used to this, right?
I'm already used to it.
Never miss your favorites. Upgrade to an Xfinity X1 Triple Play from Comcast and save when you bundle TV, internet, and voice. See for yourself. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
TV500 at Vistaprint.com.
I love my job.
Vistaprint.com.
Every Sunday night, we're showing 3 regular guys what it takes to survive.
Fat Guys in the Woods, premiering Sunday at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Off the couch into the weather.
Check it out. Heavy rain and whipping winds in the Virgin Islands on the left side of your screen. Downtown Tortola on the right. Waves overtaking the Stock and Lovango Cay. Storm-packed wind gusts over 55 miles per hour here when Bertha was just a tropical storm, but now it is a hurricane to the east of the Bahama Islands. Our storm specialist Carl Parker joins us now to talk about Bertha, plus lots of other activity, especially in the Pacific, Carl.
Yeah, you know, and that's not terribly unusual, Kelly. Oftentimes when conditions are favorable in one part of the basin there, they can be favorable in another part of the basin as well. That's exactly what's going on right now across the Atlantic and the Eastern Pacific and even into the Western Pacific. It's very, very active. There are 4 storms that we're watching. One is Genevieve. It's weakening west of Hawaii, so that's not going to be of concern to us. Bertha is going to stay out over the open water, but there are these 2 storms right in the middle of your screen, and they are both going to take aim on Hawaii. We'll get into that in a moment. So Bertha now a 75-mile-per-hour storm. It's moving north at 17 miles per hour. The center of circulation right here at the top of this area of thunderstorms. That is not obviously a very well-formed storm at all. It's really barely recognizable as a tropical system. And we think that it will continue out to the north and move more towards the northeast in response to stronger upper-level winds. May briefly tangle with Newfoundland, but that's going to be just about it from that storm. So let's turn our attention to Iselle. And Iselle is now about 1,200 miles away from Hawaii. Winds of 140 miles per hour. That's a Category 4 hurricane. now moving to the west at 10 miles an hour. This is an incredibly strong and well-formed storm, very close to being what's called an annular hurricane, and they are rare. They make up about 4% of all hurricanes. They're characterized by being very symmetrical, very circular. You see this sort of a buzzsaw appearance here. The eye is a little bit smaller than what's required for an annular hurricane. They tend to have very large eyes, and they also tend to weaken very slowly, a lot more slowly than usual. So that's going to be an interesting forecast question going forward here. Now, notice also, by the way, that stadium effect, we're seeing that as the light's getting a little lower in the sky. You see the shadowing right there. As you go up from the surface in the eye up to the upper part of the cloud, it actually slopes outward. It's very much like being in a stadium, and just incredible pictures, I'm sure, if you could be flying around in that thing. We've seen that many times from storms in the past. So here's a look at where it's going to go. Should go right towards Hawaii. Now, we do think that it's likely to weaken. The big question is just how much is it going to weaken? Right now, the official forecast calling for it to be a strong tropical storm as it approaches Hawaii. Now, here's the reason for that. Notice these clouds, they're sort of mottled, speckly clouds. Those are stratocumulus clouds. That's associated with cooler ocean water and cool northeast winds, and that is what typically protects Hawaii from getting storms like this coming from the east. Usually when it happens, they come more from the south than from the east. So that is what we think is going to weaken this storm as it moves along towards the west. But in the wake of Iselle is a tropical storm, and this is Julio. This tropical storm is a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm, a mid-grade tropical storm. Notice that it is lower in latitude as compared to Iselle, which means it's going to be farther away from that dry air and that cooler water. So what we're looking at here is the total amount of moisture in the atmosphere. These areas in green are where there's dry air, also where the water is cooler. Those things are hand in hand. And then right in here, you've got the moisture that's associated with Iselle. So Iselle comes in, it's got that drier air just ahead of it. That helps to weaken the system. The water temperature is a little cooler. Julio comes in a little farther south, and meanwhile, what Iselle has done is it has moistened up the atmosphere in advance of Julio. So it's going to have more favorable conditions as it comes through. Unless Iselle really churns up the water, it could cool the water, and that could have a negative impact. So could be that we get a hurricane there, Kelly, coming up in Hawaii.
Very interesting scenario, Carl, that's for sure. Weather Center Live continues at the top of the hour with Paul Goodloe, Nick Walker, and Kim Cunningham coming up as well. First, your local on the 8s.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees with light rain. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 76. 1 to 2 inches of rain expected. Tuesday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 88. Chance of rain, 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, now on Weather Center Live, the tropics have roared to life. Very active right now in the Atlantic and the Pacific. Hurricane Bertha is brewing in the Atlantic, plus a hurricane and tropical storm that could impact Hawaii this week. We are tracking it all. Hey there, top of the hour on Weather Center Live. I'm Paul Goodloe. Our hurricane specialist, Carl Parker, is standing by in the expert area to talk about Hurricane Bertha. And Carl, we've had 2 named tropical cyclones in the Atlantic so far this year. In fact, to find another year, we've had the first 2 systems go to hurricane status. We have to go back more than 20 years.
Yeah, it certainly is interesting, Paul, though I will tell you that this one that we're watching now is not very well formed, and it's not going to have much impact in the U.S. at all. Maybe some elevated surf. That would be about it. Let's take a look at where it is right now. It's off the southeast Atlantic coast, 75-mile-per-hour hurricane, moving north at 18 miles an hour, but really barely recognizable from a satellite perspective. The light's getting lower now in the sky, and we're beginning to see the picture darkening up there, but you notice right in here there's a little bit of a circulation there. There are some clouds off to the south. It certainly does not look like a hurricane, and so whatever this ends up being is going to be carried off by these stronger upper level winds coming across the eastern part of the U.S., which means that it will move off to the north and then off to the northeast, staying well away from the coast of the U.S. Again, maybe slightly elevated surf. That would be about it, and then beyond that, Paul, it looks like there could be a brief impact there in Newfoundland, maybe some gusty winds, some heavy rain for a short time as the system will really be picking up speed by that time. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Carl. Okay, from the East Coast, let's go to the Pacific now on the West Coast and take a live look at our 50th state, the beautiful island of Kauai here in Hawaii. It is definitely clear and just gorgeous out there right now, but later this week, the island could be impacted by not one, but two tropical systems. It's definitely been a very active year so far here in the eastern Pacific. We've had 4 hurricanes, including our current Hurricane Iselle. We've had 6 tropical storms, including our current tropical storm Julio. And by the way, 1992, the last time you had a hurricane impact Hawaii, and that was a major hurricane that actually directly hit Hawaii back in 1992. And hurricane specialist Carl Barker joins us again. And Carl, hurricane season started in mid-May, and we're already up to the I and J storms with Iselle and Julio. And Iselle right now a Category 4 hurricane, but it's coming out from the east. It's kind of rare for Hawaii to be impacted by hurricanes and storms coming in from the east.
It is very rare, Paul, and that's because generally there are northeasterly winds there that are cooler and drier. There's cooler water temperatures. Conditions generally aren't favorable for storms to approach from that direction, and we'll take a look at that here in depth in a moment. Let's begin with the stats on the storm from the Hurricane Center. 140-mile-per-hour storm. That is a Category 4 hurricane, folks, moving west now at 10 miles per hour, pressure 947. That's way down there. This is a very, very strong storm. And look at the satellite presentation on the storm. You just don't see very many storms that look like that. This is really very close to what is called an annular hurricane, which makes up a tiny percentage of all hurricanes, in that it's very symmetrical, very round looking. It's got that sort of a buzzsaw appearance. It's got a very well-defined eye. The eye is not quite large enough to be considered an annular hurricane, but certainly very close. And what's interesting about these types of storms is that they tend to come down very slowly in terms of intensity relative to most other hurricanes. And so oftentimes the forecast is very challenging, and in this particular case we think that it will be a tropical storm as it approaches Hawaii, but it's something that we'll have to watch for because, again, it's sharing a lot of the characteristics of annular hurricanes. So here is the forecast and the intensities from the Hurricane Center, and it takes it down to a strong tropical storm as it approaches the Big Island, and that would be on Thursday, and then going through Friday, not moving very quickly, but certainly there could be a tremendous amount of moisture. Of course, there's mountainous terrain there, and that could mean very heavy rain in Hawaii. So that is going to be of a great concern to us. Now, on top of that, in the wake of that storm, there's another developing storm. This is Tropical Storm Julio, 60-mile-per-hour wind. It's now moving west at 16 miles per hour, and this storm may actually be the greater threat. Here's the reason why. We talked about the fact that there's cooler water between Hawaii and Iselle. So right in there, you've got your very well-formed hurricane. Here is Julio trying to get its act together. Notice that Julio is lower in latitude as compared to Iselle. which means that even though you've got this cooler, drier air here, and you've got the cooler water temperatures that will affect Estelle, this storm is going to stay just south of that as it approaches Hawaii. So this is what that looks like in terms of water temperature. And as you know, these storms feed on very warm ocean waters and the warm and humid air that sits over top of those warm ocean waters. So when you've got a drier, cooler flow and cooler water, that's going to interrupt that circulation. That's why we think Estelle is not going to be as strong as it approaches Hawaii. But Julio, again, passes a little farther to the south, stays more over that warm ocean water, and then approaches Hawaii. And in fact, it may be that Estelle actually makes the environment more humid and sort of sets up the second storm to remain stronger instead of having to tangle with that dry air. So with that in mind, here's a look at the computer model forecast. Now, what we're looking at here are lines of equal pressure. And where you see a lot of them, that's a more intense area of low pressure. So here we're seeing less of them with Estelle as it approaches Hawaii. Both models, this is the GFS model in yellow, European model in blue, both of these models indicating that this system will weaken as it comes towards Hawaii. But again, that could mean very heavy rain there in Hawaii. At the same time, you've got a stronger storm in Julio off to the east. Watch what the models do going into the weekend. Look at this. Look what the European model wants to do. It wants to make a very strong storm. That is a hurricane coming into Hawaii, and that would be over the weekend. So it's very possible that we get a strong tropical storm and then a hurricane there in Hawaii. A lot to watch here in the coming days. Paul, over to you.
Thanks, Carl. This has been a wild year. All right, all show long, we'll count down our top 5 videos tonight, starting right now with number 5. Take a look at this. We're looking inside the fire damage in California's Klamath National Forest. The flames closed the road and also threatened the railway in the area. And this footage, by the way, was shot from an Amtrak train moving on through, looking kind of post-apocalyptic right there. Pretty wild. Plus, from Fort Myers to Naples, Florida, major streets in Southwest Florida are underwater right now after a day of heavy, heavy rain. Images like this have been coming in all day. We've seen 6 inches and we're still counting. And take a look why. The radar showing more heavy rain moving on through southwestern Florida. We'll let you know when this will stop and how much more we could see. The old record was 2 inches. We're 6+ right now.
Need brakes? Pep Boys has the best brake service at the best price. Right now, get $50 off instantly on Precision Match brake service exclusively at Pep Boys. That's $50 off instantly. Trust the boys to get you there.
I heard you have a tough clog.
I only have 10 minutes.
I only need 7.
Liquid Plumber Urgent Clear penetrates the toughest clogs with 2 fast-acting gels in only 7 minutes guaranteed, baby.
This allergy season, will you be a sound sleeper or a mouth breather? Well, put on a Breathe Right strip and instantly open your nose up to 38% more than allergy medicines alone, so you can breathe and sleep. Shut your mouth and sleep right. Breathe Right.
When I had my first migraine, I was lucky. That sounds crazy, I know, but my mom got migraines, so she knew this would help. Excedrin Migraine starts to relieve my pain in 30 minutes, plus sensitivity to light, sound, even nausea. Excedrin Migraine works.
This summer, save your Monday nights. The Coast Guard is back.
Look off to your starboard side.
And you can only find them on the Weather Channel. Woo! Tonight at 9.
Oh, God. Better sailboat high and dry over there? Oh, yeah.
The all-new season continues. Coast Guard, Cape Disappointment. Tonight at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 77 degrees with light rain. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 76. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 88. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
into nature's deadliest predicaments and asks, so you think you'd survive? Oh my God! Premiering Sunday at 9 on the Weather Channel.
At Farmers, we make you smarter about your insurance because what you don't know can hurt you. What if you didn't know that taking pictures of your belongings helps when you have a claim? Or that Farmers offers a policy that'll replace your car with a new one if it's totaled within the first 2 model years? And that parking near a street lamp deters thieves. The more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Talk to Farmers and get smarter about your insurance.
We are Farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Call 1-800-FARMERS and see how much you could save.
Hey, Super Mama. You gotta check out this Walmart back-to-school event.
Okay.
A Toshiba Touch laptop, just $349.
Sounds good.
Super comfy boy socks, only $497.
Oh, I definitely need socks.
Sharpie permanent markers, only $397.
That sounds good. Wow. A 10-inch tablet with a built-in keyboard.
That sounds good.
Get to Walmart's back-to-school savings event August 1st through 10th and save even more on Cyber Monday, August 4th. Save money, live better. Walmart.
Ours is a world of passengers. The red eyes.
I'm really tired.
The transfers.
Well, that's kid number 3.
The co-pilots. All sitting, trusting, waiting for a safe arrival. Introducing the all-new Subaru Legacy, designed to help the driver and you care for the passenger in them. The Subaru Legacy. It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
Welcome back to Weather Center Live. Still tracking some thunderstorms and the risk of some flooding out across several areas of the nation right now. You can take a look at the map so we can show you we're dealing with some rain and thunderstorms rolling across areas of Wisconsin, now pushing into Illinois, even eastern Iowa, and just to the west and southwest of Madison, Wisconsin, we have a flash flood warning going on for Dane and Iowa counties. As you've been seeing, they've been dealing with a lot of rain the last several hours. That flood warning goes till 7:30 local time. Then south of there to the northwest of Peoria, Knox and Stark counties under a severe thunderstorm warning. Watch out around Goshen and Lafayette for potential of some gusty, damaging winds and some hail. Meanwhile, the southeast, a lot of scattered thunderstorms here, but some concentrated rain continues here across southwestern Florida. We're seeing wave after wave of showers and thunderstorms rolling on through there, resulting in a lot of rain and some ongoing flooding. Check this out. This is as of earlier today. 6.14 inches of rain. That's a record for the date. In Naples, the old record was 2 inches. And take a look at this. Here's some visual ground truth to that. This is what it looks like here in the Naples area. These streets looking more like rivers, maybe even lakes. More than 6.5 inches rain fell as of now, making this the rainiest August day ever for Naples, Florida. Meteorologist Nick Walker joins me now. I think we're looking for this rain to end so that perhaps people there can delay the ARC building, but the moisture will not leave the southeast anytime soon.
Yeah, let's hope it ends soon in Naples. Yeah. But you're right. I mean, some areas that have seen so much rain will get more, and other areas that have been fairly dry around the southeast are going to see more rain too. So, you know, it's going to stay stormy here around much of the southeast, and for many of us, it's going to get wetter. You know what that means. Muggy conditions, sticky, humid conditions here as we head through the next several days. It's warm out right now, but it's going to get warmer than this. 88 degrees in Atlanta, 81 in Jacksonville. We've stayed here in the 70s here in the last hour in Orlando and Miami. A lot of clouds, a lot of showers around that area. We will begin to warm up into the 90s in Atlanta tomorrow. We'll see 96 degrees in Nashville by the time we get into Wednesday, and also we'll be in the mid-90s there around Memphis. Now, a lot of us are going to find temperatures well above your averages for this time of year. Atlanta, for example, your average high temperature this time of year, 89 degrees. You'll be a couple of degrees above that tomorrow. And then by the time we get into Thursday, as much as 6 degrees above your average before we knock those temperatures back down for Friday into the upper 80s. But I think we'll have to pay for that slightly cooler, or at least less hot condition with some showers and some thunderstorms. We'll see that moist flow continuing here around the Gulf Coast, and then another cold front approaches sort of to fill in the blanks that have seen the clearer conditions. So we're going to see a lot of wet weather here around the southeast in the days to come. Scattered thunderstorms from Florida up the Carolina shores and the Gulf Coast tomorrow, and then more coming into the Nashville area by the time we get into Wednesday. By the time Thursday comes, that cold front will move farther toward the south, so a lot of us are going to see at least scattered showers and thunderstorms, and a lot of us are going to find those muggy and warm conditions. Jacksonville will be among them. Thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, and then we clear it out a little bit for a day, then come back in with the rainfall on Thursday afternoon and keep the showers and thunderstorms in the forecast all the way into the weekend. So prepare yourself. It is going to get muggy. It's going to get hot. It's going to get stormy over much of the southeast here this week.
All right, thanks, Nick. Well, hey, we're down to number 4 on our top 5 video countdown. This is video out of Tortola in the BVI, the British Virgin Islands. Usually a paradise, but not as tropical storm Bertha rolled through. Now it's Hurricane Bertha.
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service to be certified by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, eliminating an average of 94% of common household allergens like dust, pollen, and pet dander. For a cleaner, healthier home. Certified. It's our new standard of clean. Call now about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
Brought to you by Stanley Steamer, certified asthma and allergy friendly.
They keep us busy.
Duck fishing.
They keep us entertained. They keep us inspired. They keep us hopeful and happy. Keep them safe. The 8-passenger Chevrolet Traverse with the highest possible overall vehicle score for safety. Chevrolet, find new roads.
Welcome to the corner of making healthy choices and getting major kudos. Just look at you. You're being healthy, even in little ways. That's worth celebrating. That's why Walgreens created the first program that gives you rewards points just for healthy behavior. So stick with it. You've got a lot of people cheering you on. Download the app and start getting rewarded today at the corner of happy and healthy.
To you, they're more than just a pet, so protect them with Canine Advantix 2. Its broad-spectrum protection kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, too. Canine Advantix 2, for the love of dogs.
I'm Creek Stewart, Weather Channel survival expert. Every Sunday night, we're taking 3 regular guys deep into the woods.
Are you serious?
Where we'll teach them not just to survive, but how to
What's wrong with my hair?
Everything.
It's like a disaster.
It's always too high.
There's some girth there. It's meaty. Your hair is not meaty. It's meaty. Shave it off to like the sides.
Can't shave his head. He's got a peanut-shaped head.
The Sorrentinos, Tuesdays at 10/9 Central, only on TVGN.
H.H. Gregg Appliances and Electronics now has furniture, fitness equipment, and more.
If you struggle with back pain, you have the power to turn it off with this.
New Smart Relief from Icy Hot. Turn on relaxing pulses that quickly block even chronic back pain. It's wireless, reusable, and easy to use.
Turn on Smart Relief and turn off pain.
For diarrhea, you take Kaopectate. But for heartburn, gas, indigestion, upset stomach, or nausea, you also take Kaopectate. Kaopectate caplets, like our liquid, relieve diarrhea and soothe your stomach for relief of all those symptoms. Kaopectate, one and done.
$13.89 to get a free brochure. 1-800-491-1389.
Mondays, only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a hurricane. Hurricane 360, premiering August 18th at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Stay tuned for your local on the 8s, brought to you by Nationwide Insurance.
Nationwide is on your side.
In the nation, the safest feature in your car is you. Add Vanishing Deductible from Nationwide Insurance and get $100 off for every year of safe driving, which for you shouldn't be a problem. Just another way we put members first, because we don't have shareholders. Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. thunderstorms early, low 76. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 88. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Hey, check this out. Video in from the U.S. Virgin Islands this past weekend. And our resident Virgin Islander said this is Rock City, also known as St. Thomas. Now, this is also, by the way, back when Bertha was just a tropical storm. Now it's a Category 1 hurricane, and it continues to churn here in the Atlantic. But will it be a threat to the U.S.? Well, the good news is no, not a direct threat at all. But the East Coast will feel some side impacts. This is a live look at Corolla, North Carolina, in the Outer Banks. In places like this, you could see some pretty big surf and also dangerous rip currents as we head later on this week. Very important to all the people heading to the beach to get in that summer vacation. Kim Cunningham is standing by with the very latest in our tropical update. Hey, Kim.
Oh, hey, Paul. And you know, when's the last time you saw a map like this, right, with so many tropical systems on it? The good thing is, I guess if you could say the good thing is, a lot of them are over here in the Pacific, and we've got a lot of time to watch them, especially these two as they head towards Hawaii. That's right. If you have interest in Hawaii or if you're watching us from Hawaii, these two you have to watch out for. Tropical Depression Genevieve on the way out. We don't have to worry about Genevieve. But Hurricane Bertha, as you mentioned, did cause some problems in parts of the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico with some flooding. But now, as you can see, it's well away from the Bahamas. It is a Category 1 hurricane, winds at 75 miles per hour. The pressure 998 millibars. On this advisory, actually, the Air Force hurricane hunters were out there and found it actually has weakened a little bit. And we'll see if that indeed is continuing as they get us more information. But still looking at a lot of thunderstorms, what the red is indicating right here. So it still has some life in it, that's for sure. And we also have that upper level system just off the coast of Florida that may be interacting with it as well. On our visible satellite, starting to lose our daylights, we're losing our visible. But you can see some of the overshooting tops right in there. Some of these thunderstorms, the eye or the center of this is actually away from the thunderstorms. So, and that is, again, another indication that this may not be strengthening at this time. Now, so it's forecast to move north and east and actually become extratropical, but it is staying away from the U.S. As you can see, winds start to come down to 65 miles per hour to 60 miles per hour as it gets closer to the Canadian Maritimes and then heading out to the central Atlantic. And we're going to track this thing maybe all the way over into Europe. All right, so Eastern Pacific, watching these two, okay, Iselle, and also here for Julio as they're moving off to the west. And this is a Category 4 hurricane. Iselle is a very healthy hurricane right now. Category 4, that's 140 mile per hour winds. It's moving west at 10. And just look at this. This is what is, you know, look at it, probably looking at a pretty perfect hurricane. And if you were going to fly into this, into the eye, you'd probably see a stadium effect. So beautiful picture right now. But again, the good news is this is probably going to head off towards the west in some cooler waters and weaken as it gets closer to Hawaii. But it does look like, if you look at the water vapor imagery, it may be getting some drier air and training into it. So we'll keep an eye on this. It is forecast to weaken. There might be a little bit of shear off to the west, too, that will help bring it down a little bit. And that'll be fantastic news for the folks in Hawaii. But Julio, looking at winds at 60 miles per hour, pressure 1,000 millibars, moving west as well. Another one that may be affecting Hawaii towards the end of the week. Back to you, Paul.
Thanks, Kim. We're down now to number 3 in our top 5 video countdown. And things got nasty in California over the weekend. Look at this. Yeah, thunderstorms just soaked Forest Falls, causing serious mudslides. That used to be a van right there. Wow. Roads to and from campsites were blocked, stranding hundreds of campers on Sunday morning.
Heavy downpours in the area caused the roadways to be completely blocked by heavy debris, mud, rocks, boulders, basically splitting the town in half.
And despite the dangerous conditions, that rain is sorely needed all across the West. Take a look at it right now on the radar here in California. Pretty dry, but yeah, we still need a lot more rain to break the drought. But check out Las Vegas. Thunderstorms have erupted there. We have flash flood warnings going on, as well as ongoing flooding close to the Las Vegas Strip. More details coming up.
You don't compromise, and you're never willing to settle. So why are you wearing glasses with just any Progressive lenses? See the difference with Verilux, the only Progressive lens brand with lenses designed using wave technology. Enjoy smooth transitions and sharp vision at any distance. See your eye care professional about Verilux, the #1 Progressive lens brand. Ask for Verilux. Never compromise your vision.
Now save $30 on Verilux when you combine with Crizal and Transitions lenses.
Ask your eye care professional about Transitions signature lenses.
The General is not your grandma's car insurance company. Check us out. At The General, you can get affordable car insurance online or over the phone in just minutes, regardless of your driving record. The down payment and monthly payments are low, and you choose your due date. Get an anonymous free quote now. For a great low rate you can get online, go to The General and save some time.
She'll see swish, she'll see swish. It's back to school, there's a new routine. Grab a Kleenex tissue, help keep your hands clean. She'll see swish, she'll see swish. La 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 la.
This back to school, start the year off right with Kleenex tissues. They're thick and absorbent to help keep stuff off kids' hands. Pick some Kleenex tissues up today.
At the Lexus Golden Opportunity Sales Event, discover the gold standard of luxury hybrids with the most complete hybrid line of any luxury automaker, including the fuel-efficient CT and ES hybrids. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Red, white, and blue pancakes are under $5. That's about as American as it gets.
What do you mean?
Blueberry pancakes, strawberries, and cream cheese icing starting at just $4.99. Apple pie, watch out.
Welcome to Denny's.
At PetSmart, we believe pets make us better people. They inspire us to remember things like life begins at 5:01 and when to choose our battles. For over 25 years, the pet-loving associates at PetSmart have helped you create more moments like these while giving back to the community, saving over 5 million lives and transforming unlikely places into dog parks. At PetSmart, we're in it to create more moments like these every day. PetSmart, inspired by pets.
Roaches love kitchens and bathrooms, but they'll use air vents like secret passages in a medieval castle. For this house, I alternate my baits, giving them a different active ingredient every time. Who's hungry? To keep them from building immunity. They can sneak through walls, but not past science. To catch a pest, you have to think like a pest, not just in any home. In your home.
This summer, save your Monday nights. The Coast Guard is back.
Look off to your starboard side.
And you can only find them on the Weather Channel. Woo! Tonight at 9.
Oh, God. Let us sailboat high and dry over there? Oh, yeah.
The all-new season continues. Coast Guard, Cape Disappointment. Tonight at 9. Only on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 76. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 88. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
America's Morning Headquarters with Sam Champion.
Not just a morning forecast, a morning show.
AMHQ with Sam Champion, the Weather Channel's brand new morning show.
We have hurricanes in the Atlantic and Pacific right now. One of them is targeting land. We have the very latest tracks and expert analysis you won't find anywhere else. Hey there now, bottom of the hour. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Paul Goodlow. We'll go to the latest on the tropics in just a few minutes. But right now, we have an ongoing situation developing in Las Vegas, Nevada right now. Take a look at the radar. We're seeing showers and thunderstorms erupting across southern Nevada. In fact, Las Vegas, we are still under a flash flood warning until 5:15 local time, including you in Clark County. We had over an inch of rain right by the Vegas Strip earlier this afternoon. In fact, we even have a twit pic of street flooding going on, even reports of swiftwater rescues going on because of all the heavy rain. Yeah, desert area, heavy rain, short amount of time. That's a huge concern. Now, a similar story, we're still watching a developing story going on in California because of the raging floods that hit that area over this past weekend. Southern California saw inches of rain in just a couple of hours, and after months of drought, the ground wasn't prepared to handle that much rain that fast. Here's NBC's Jacob Raskin.
In minutes, the shallow stream became a rushing river. More than 4 inches of rain pounding Southern California in under 3 hours. Dry, compact earth collapsing into mountain communities. 31 homes buried in debris. Overnight, thousands left stranded. In Forest Falls, Doug Roth could hear the mudslide.
It sounds like a freight train.
Then he saw it.
We ran for our lives.
The wall of mud and boulders came crashing into Doug's home, leveling his shed and tossing his propane tank 20 feet into a tree. The only way into town blocked by boulders the size of cars. Hundreds here stranded overnight. Down the mountain, the town of Oak Glen split in half by another landslide. And nearby on Mount Baldy, the storm proved fatal, trapping Ju Wan Lee from Los Angeles. Hundreds of campers on a church retreat cut off from rescue for hours. Many worried they wouldn't make it.
It was just crazy. It kept raining, stopped for a while, kept raining once more, and then, I don't know, it just kind of looked like the mountain opened up.
Michelle Olson's home destroyed.
I was so scared I couldn't move. And I just stood there on the top of my truck and I just screamed. I didn't know what else to do.
Back in Forest Falls, Doug spent the night helping his neighbors, carrying the Cafaro kids to higher ground, and then vowing to rebuild. You'll stay.
I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I'm staying.
And that is a lot of rain in just 24 hours. But what does that mean when it comes to the bigger picture of the ongoing drought in California? Well, meteorologist Kim Cunningham joins me now. And Kim, this is almost like putting a Band-Aid on the situation. This drought is pretty deep.
It is deep. So putting a Band-Aid maybe on a huge cut, trying to stop that bleeding. So we did get some rainfall. We'll talk about how much we saw in that area in just a minute. But let's show you the stats, okay, where we are with this, because it's really, really sad if you look at it. So let's go ahead and show you now what it looks like as we look at this monitor. The rain needed to end the drought. This is through October, through the end of the water year, and 9 to 12 inches. You can see 3 to 6 inches here in California. And again, this is June through October, what we'd need to end the drought in this area. So if you look at this, we're talking about 200 to 250% in Southern California of average rainfall to end the drought through October. So that is tremendous. That's a tremendous amount of rainfall. Now, we did get some. We picked up in some spotty areas, maybe 1 to 3 inches of rain, and mainly here in Southern California. Even Interstate 10 was closed for a while. So looking at probably getting a little bit of rain, but not enough, Paul, to really put a big dent in this drought. We did get some beneficial rain. But again, a lot of it ran off, didn't soak into the ground in many cases because the ground was so dry. So, we need many more of these episodes, unfortunately, to really help us, I think.
All right, thanks, Kim. Well, Southern California will be drying out. Other parts of the West, well, they will be seeing more rain this week. For more, let's head over to meteorologist Nick Walker.
All right, thanks so much, Paul. And yeah, the West getting wet, and many of us are going to stay wet. Some of us are going to dry out, California among them. But we'll see wet in the West for the next several hours possible, because we have those flash flood watches up from Death Valley all the way through much of Nevada, over towards Salt Lake City, and even down toward Albuquerque, where we've been getting abundant rainfall too. Even Boise, Idaho, under those flash flood watches. We've seen some warnings nearby. Well, Vegas, you mentioned that before, Paul, and more rain continuing to fall now north of Vegas, but we are still under that flash flood warning around the Las Vegas area for a little while longer. Oh, it looks like it's just been released there from the flash flood warning. Still, There could be some high water near the airport and near the Strip. We had about an inch just in an hour's time. No, it's still under a warning. Clark County for another 45 minutes or so under that warning for a little while longer here, waiting for that water to subside just a bit. We've had some problems here south of Albuquerque and also north of Albuquerque as well, where we've seen some abundant rain moving through that area. A 6-foot rise on the creek at the Bandelier National Monument Visitor Center, and it's still rising, so we still could see some problems there. So we'll find ourselves with more of the same coming into midweek, but probably a little farther toward the north. This upper level low is going to continue to keep the moisture in Northern California, Northern Nevada, northern portions of probably Utah and on into Colorado, but unfortunately Denver and Albuquerque will still be in that flooding zone. So tomorrow, look for more heavy rainfall in some of these same areas and northward too, up towards, say, Boise and Pocatello, where they've had some flash flood warnings nearby. More rain and thunderstorms moving your way Wednesday and on into Thursday. So a lot of us here in the inland Northwest, even down toward Denver, are going to see more of this wet weather. At least 1 to 2 inches, maybe some heavier amounts, spotty though they'll be. Paul?
Well, from thunderstorms to tropical storms and hurricanes, hurricane specialist Carl Parker is keeping a very close watch on the Pacific and the Atlantic right now. He joins us now from the expert desk. Hey, Carl.
Hey, Paul, we're watching this storm that is now just off the Atlantic coast. It is Bertha. It is a hurricane, but it's not very good looking on satellite, and it's going to stay offshore and may just affect Newfoundland. That's going to be about it. So here's the latest on the storm from the Hurricane Center. 75-mile-per-hour storm moving north at 18 miles per hour. So we look at the satellite picture. I mean, there's just not much to look at here. It's really barely recognizable as a tropical system. The light is getting low. That's the visible satellite picture. I'm going to show you the infrared picture, and then here too there's just really nothing that looks like a hurricane there. I mean, that looks a lot more like a tropical storm than a hurricane, and in fact it may be weakening as we speak. What's going to happen with the storm? Well, it's going to move out to the north and to the east and will stay offshore, and again may just graze Newfoundland, so maybe some wind and a bit of rain there. Now the other thing that we're watching is Hurricane Iselle. That's well off to the east of Hawaii. Winds of 140 miles per hour. It's moving west at 10 miles per hour and is generally going to continue towards Hawaii. Now, it is an incredibly well-formed storm. This is the visible satellite picture. This is like the opposite of what we saw with Bertha. Just incredible symmetry there, very well-defined eye. Notice the slope. You can actually see a little shadowing in the eye there, showing you how this eye slopes outward, going from the lowest level of the eye wall up to the highest level of the eye wall. That's called the stadium effect because of that sloping. So, and a very powerful, very strong storm moving across the ocean waters that are going to be a little bit cooler in the next couple of days, and that's going to help to weaken that storm as it approaches Hawaii. So it may very well be a strong tropical storm that could still mean very heavy rain there in Hawaii. Now behind that, there's another storm. It is Tropical Storm Julio, 60-mile-per-hour storm. This storm may actually be the greater threat to Hawaii, and we'll talk more about that in the tropical update coming up in a few minutes. Paul, over to you.
All right, thanks, Carl. Well, we were just minutes away from our #1 video of the day, but first, take a look at #2. More thunderstorms in western Arizona. A powerful thunderstorm slammed Lake Havasu City, Arizona, where rain came down so hard, trees were snapped, power lines came down, and dry washes turned into flooded streams. And also, people dealing with rain and flooding and hail in Michigan yesterday, but the Midwest is in line for even more wind and rain. More details in your forecast coming up next.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 76. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 88. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
repairing damage in just one room to an entire building. Turn to the cleanup team that's here in your community and here to help at 1-800-SERVE-PRO, like it never even happened.
Need new tires? At Pep Boys, our Tires Made Easy process matches your vehicle with the tire that's just right for you. And right now at Pep Boys, when you buy 3 select tires, you'll get the 4th tire free. Trust the boys to get you there.
So, Duke, what do you think for our new Bush's Baked Beans video game?
I think I'm getting the hang of it.
Now, roll that beautiful bean footage. Yes! Bush's Baked Beans are slow cooked according to our secret family recipe for big flavor. Enjoy Bush's Baked Beans.
Are you sure we should take this billboard down?
People find out State Farm does car loans as well as they do insurance. Our bank is through.
Good point. Grab an edge.
Look, there's 2 guys on the State Farm Borrow Better banking sign.
No, for real, there's 2 dudes on the State Farm Borrow Better banking sign.
Breaking news from the State Farm Borrow Better banking sign.
Seeing 2 men that have climbed the Borrow Better banking sign.
Gentlemen, please get down from the State Farm Borrow Better banking sign. Phil, get the hose.
Okay, he's getting the hose.
All right, let's go.
Talk to a State Farm agent about car loans that can save you hundreds. That's borrowing better.
Listen up. I'm reworking the menu. Veggies, you're cool. Mayo, corn dogs, you are so out of here.
The complete balanced nutrition of great tasting Ensure. 24 vitamins and minerals, 9 grams of protein, with 30% less sugars than before. Ensure, your #1 doctor recommended brand, now introduces Ensure Active. Muscle health, clear protein drink, and high protein. Targeted nutrition to feed your active life. Ensure, take life in.
Some question physics. Some question gravity. And some even have the audacity to question improbability. These are some of the bold new Ram commercial trucks, built to blow your imagination. Guts, glory, Ram.
Hey, Super Mama. You gotta check out this Walmart back-to-school event. Okay. A Toshiba Touch laptop, just $349.
Sounds good.
Super comfy boy socks, only $497.
Oh, I definitely need socks.
Sharpie permanent markers, only $397.
That sounds good. Wow. A 10-inch tablet with a built-in keyboard.
That sounds good.
Get to Walmart's back-to-school savings event August 1st through 10th and save even more on Cyber Monday, August 4th. Save money, live better. Walmart.
When I had my first migraine, I was lucky. That sounds crazy, I know, but my mom got migraines, so she knew this would help. Excedrin Migraine starts to relieve my pain in 30 minutes, plus sensitivity to light, sound, even nausea. Excedrin Migraine works.
Here's a live look at Chicago and St. Louis. St. Louis on the right, Chicago on the left there. These 2 Midwest cities could see some thunderstorms over the next couple of days. And we're seeing some heavy rain right now and some severe weather as well. Let's head over to meteorologist Nick Walker. And Nick, yeah, severe weather as well as some flood concerns going on across areas of Illinois, even Wisconsin right now.
Yeah, those storms are popping up for sure. And we continue to see some problems with flooding in southern Wisconsin. And we could see some problems as far as the severe weather in portions of Illinois. Max 2 if we can, and I'll show you some of these areas that we're going to find ourselves in trouble. Midwest storms all the way through midweek, and maybe even a tornado threat coming up midweek too. Here's the problem right now. Paul talked about the flooding problem here in southern Wisconsin. Look at this, just to the west of the Madison area. This is where we've seen 3 to 4 inches of rain in 1 hour. And this is a slow-moving system. So Dane, Iowa, continuing to get rainfall on top of that. You could see some flash flooding, roadways underwater. Going to be some big problems for some time. Problems here in Stark County in Illinois. Hail and damaging winds, the biggest threat here. It's a small area, but a pretty potent thunderstorm moving through the area, and that warning up for a while longer. We could see more warnings just like that as more disturbances move into the southeast. That jet stream moving a little farther toward the south, and a slow-moving cold front, all setting up to bring that severe threat from the plains into portions of the Midwest and the Northeast here in the days to come. Tomorrow, I think it's going to be back into southern portions of South Dakota on down in Nebraska, but it will include the Omaha area. Wednesday, it moves a little farther toward the east, so just south of Des Moines all the way to St. Louis and Kansas City, we could see some problems too. Thursday, the thunderstorms just continue to abound in some of the same areas, so we could see some flash flooding because of the saturated ground and the steady rain upon it. All right, tomorrow, here's the severe threat. Rapid City, back to Cheyenne, North Platte, Omaha. Hail and damaging winds, the biggest threats here, but by Wednesday, we could see some bigger threats. North Platte, Omaha, look at this, Kansas City into St. Louis. This is where we could see a tornado threat. It's a small one, but a 3 in 10 chance of seeing a tornado within a 50-mile radius here of northern Missouri. All right, that's Wednesday. And then on Thursday, the tornado threat lingers here in Missouri, and we'll have those storms move all the way into western portions of Kentucky. Hail, damaging winds will be the threat, but also, again, a 3 in 10 chance of seeing a tornado in west central Illinois and in central Missouri. Paul?
It's time now to reveal our #1 video of the day. But first, we'll take a look back at numbers 5 through 2. Number 5 is the fire damage recorded from a train in California's Klamath National Forest in Northern California. Number 4, wind and rain from Bertha hitting Tortola in the British Virgin Islands. Number 3, rain and mudslides in Southern California. And number 2, monsoon wind and rain hitting Lake Havasu City in Arizona.
Boy, that video of the fire there in Northern California, that's kind of a little spooky, especially when you can imagine folks seeing that from an Amtrak train.
Yeah, the big concern was those rail lines that were trying to save them with the wildfire going through there. That, as you see, it was done. They saved the line. So, yeah, this is a passenger train, as you said, Nick. So I want to say this is probably one of my top videos so far from the countdown here.
Just because it's so spooky. I mean, folks usually would see a beautiful forest scene when they're traveling through this area, not this spooky fire. And that's, I understand, it's only about 21% contained. Just one of many fires in Northern California burning.
This could be perhaps a scene out of any, apocalyptic movie from Hollywood. Perhaps the flashback scenes from Terminator, with Arnold Sarah Connor. I mean, this is the flashback. I mean, it looks like a war zone here. But yeah, that's Northern California today because of all the drought and the ongoing wildfires.
And of course, we continue to see those problems from the Forest Falls area in California too, with all that flooding and ongoing.
Yeah, the mudslides there. That's a van. That's a golf cart as well, all being washed out. In fact, campers, about 100 of them were cut off because of all this. And it's rare, to have this much rain in parts of Southern California this year. A thunderstorm here or there, not a big deal, but this has been an ongoing issue. And many areas who would typically see more of their rain perhaps during their wet season, the winter, have seen more rain now in their alleged dry season here in the summertime. Been a wild year. Right, time now to reveal our #1 video. And check this out. It's a waterspout that came ashore in Turkey over the weekend. And it did cause some damage to some buildings and even some serious damage as well. This video shows wind ripping up part of a roof and throwing some of the debris into the air.
Yeah, parts of Istanbul saw this tornado, and so it really puts to rest any rumors that tornadoes don't hit metropolitan areas. They do.
And it's not just a U.S. phenomenon. This happened in, I guess, 6 of the 7 continents we have in the world. Hey, stick around. Your complete tropical update is coming up next on Weather Center Live. But first, your weather IQ question. Name the hurricane that made landfall at Cape Fear, North Carolina on September 5th, 1996.
Looks like the Garcias got a new car.
What'd they get?
I don't know. Sure doesn't look like a Buick.
Buick.
I'm outside. Where are you? I'm right here. I'm in the Buick. I don't see a Buick.
Take a fresh look at Buick. It just might surprise you.
That's not a Buick. That's what I told him. Wow. This is nice. Oh, my.
Now get 0% financing for 60 months on any 2014 Buick model during the Buick Summer Sell Down. Hurry, get the best of remaining 2014s before they're gone.
I'm Creek Stewart, Weather Channel survival expert. Every Sunday night, we're taking 3 regular guys deep into the woods.
Are you serious?
Where we'll teach them not just to survive,
make fire,
but how to truly live.
Look at this caveman.
Show yourself what you're made of on Weather Channel Survival Sundays. At 9, it's So You Think You'd Survive. Then at 10, Fat Guys in the Woods. Premiering Sunday at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Are you ready? Off the couch, into the weather.
Currently in our area, 76 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. tonight. Thunderstorms early, low 76. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 88. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
This is Kathleen. Setting up the perfect wedding day begins with her arthritis pain and 2 pills. Afternoon arrives and feeling good, but her knee pain returns. That's 2 more pills. The evening's event brings laughter, joy, and more pain. When Jamie says,
What's that, like 6 pills today?
Yeah. I can take 2 Aleve for all-day relief.
Really? And that's it.
This is Kathleen.
For my arthritis pain, I now choose Aleve.
Get all-day arthritis pain relief with an easy open cap.
So we've had a Tempur-Pedic for a while, but now that we have the adjustable base, it's even better.
When I put my feet up on this bed, my stress just goes away.
Go up.
Our Tempur-Pedic is the best thing in our house, except for my...
Did you know a 10-second test could help your business avoid hours of delay caused by slow internet from the phone company? That's enough time to record a memo.
Idea for sales giveaway.
Return a call. Sign a contract. Pick a tie. Take a break with Mr. Duck. Practice up for the business trip. Fly to Florida. Win an award. Close a deal. Hire an intern. And still have time to spare.
Go to ComcastBusiness.com/check-your-speed. If we can't offer faster speeds or save you money, we'll give you $150. Comcast Business. Built for business.
Especially at quiet times, ringing in the ears used to bother me a lot. Then my doctor told me about lipoflavonoid, said it improves inner ear circulation to help relieve the ringing. He was right. Lipoflavonoid, #1 doctor recommended to relieve ringing in the ears.
What's your vet IQ? Do you know why vets recommend Minties? Because Minties helps clean teeth, freshen breath, and control plaque and tartar for a fraction of the cost of Greenies. Now that's a good trick. High quality without the high cost. That's vet IQ smart.
Well lived. Trust the experts at burialplanning.com.
Request your free burial planning kit now.
Mondays, only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a hurricane. Hurricane 360, premiering August 18th at 9 on the Weather Channel.
And before we went to break, we asked you what hurricane made landfall at Cape Fear, North Carolina on September 5th, 1996. Was it Hugo? Was it Fran? Emily? Well, the correct answer was Fran. Sustained winds of 115 miles per hour at the time of landfall. The good news is that was years ago, but right now we're still watching a hurricane in the Atlantic and also in the Pacific, a hurricane and a tropical storm. Now, those two in the Pacific could be impacting the U.S. The one in the Atlantic, Carl, good news, should not be directly impacting the U.S. or for folks east of us out here in Bermuda.
Yeah, it really doesn't look like much right now. That's the good news, and it's going to stay offshore, and it will continue out to the north and northeast. So here is Bertha, and it's now a 75-mile-per-hour storm officially. Though I will tell you, as we look at the satellite picture, there's not a lot of evidence of structure there. This thing is really struggling right now. Just got a little bit of an area of thunderstorms near the center, but certainly not very well formed right now. And the models take it out to the northeast, and then maybe just grazing Newfoundland, which is right there, and that's going to be about it. But very little impact along the east coast, maybe some elevated surf. That's going to be just about it.
I guess bowlers would call it the 7-10 split between Cape Hatteras and Bermuda, huh?
Yeah, you know, I mean, there's not going to be a lot of impact on land at all. But this is a very different story. This is Iselle. It's now a 140-mile-per-hour hurricane moving off to the west at 10 miles per hour. And this, Paul, is an incredibly well-formed storm. This is a visible satellite picture. Now that we're late in the day, we're getting a really good look at the eye. Notice the shadowing there. You can see the stadium effect. So the eye actually slopes outward from the lowest level of the eye wall to the highest level of the eye wall, and it's very much like a stadium. Incredibly well-defined eye, very symmetrical storm. It's really close to being what is called an annular hurricane, and that's a very small percentage of hurricanes. And these are generally very intense hurricanes, and they tend to stay stronger longer than what is forecast. So we're going to need to watch this one closely. Right now, what the Hurricane Center is saying is that because it's going to be passing over slightly cooler water and getting involved with slightly drier air, it's likely going to weaken to a strong tropical storm, but that could still mean some serious impacts.
And again, this is the forecast from the National Hurricane Center, yes. And notoriously we've gotten our track where we know what's going. That's better than the intensity, what it will be when it gets there. So, you know, the forecast now is for a tropical storm, but it could be stronger or weaker than that.
It certainly could. Intensity is a very difficult problem. It has long been that way. And again, in this case, when you've got a storm that's very similar, very close to being an annular hurricane, those hurricanes in particular are very, very difficult to forecast in terms of intensity. They tend to come down more slowly than what the computer models want to do. So here's a look at the larger picture. And what's interesting is you've got this hurricane, which is our very strong storm right now. And then behind that, that is Julio, and Julio is now a strong tropical storm. It's a 60-mile-per-hour storm, and we expect that Julio is going to move a little farther south relative to Iselle. So Iselle is right here, right on the edge of water that is not quite warm enough to be ideal for the system to maintain its intensity. So tropical systems derive their energy from warm and humid air that sits over top of very warm ocean water, and when the water is a little cooler, then the air tends to be cooler and drier and more stable, and that's exactly what Iselle is going to be running into in the next couple of days. That is why it's forecast to get a little bit weaker. But Julio is going to pass farther to the south. It's going to be a little farther away from that coolest water, and that's likely going to keep it stronger. It's expected to become a hurricane, and then on top of that, as Iselle moves through this region, what it will do is moisten up the atmosphere and therefore may pave the way for Julio as it moves towards Hawaii.
So the bottom line is Hawaii could be impacted not by one, perhaps by two tropical systems, maybe a hurricane, maybe both tropical storms, but that is rare to have these things come from the east to the west. Typically, they see storms coming in from the south, especially hurricanes coming from the south.
Exactly, and that's because of this cooler water. It's because of this flow of drier air, cooler air that comes from the northeast. Hawaii tends to be protected from the east, but that's not happening in this case. Water temperatures are a little bit warmer, and so let's take a look at what the computer models are telling us. So we're looking at these concentric circles here. These are lines of equal pressure where we see a lot of them. That's a strong low. Notice that we see less of the lines coming towards Hawaii with Iselle. That means it's weakening. That's the way that both of our global models that we most often look at are seeing it. So we're talking about the GFS, the European model. Notice you see more lines here, though. That is Julio, and this is the GFS and European model, both saying that the storm is going to be stronger. And in fact, the European model, in its most recent run, showing a very strong storm, solidly a hurricane coming into Hawaii. So it could be a tropical storm followed by a hurricane.
There will be some impacts on our 50th state.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, thanks, Carl. Hey, next, the places we're watching for thunderstorms, even heavy rain tonight. But first, stick around for your local on the 8th.
Currently in our area, 75 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 76. Winds southwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tuesday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 88. Chance of rain 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I'm Nick Walker, and these are the areas we'll be watching as we head through this evening. Southern Nevada, where we've had lots of rainfall, as much as an inch in a short amount of time in Vegas. And although most of that rain has continued to move toward the north, we still could have some flooding problems there. We've had flooding problems south of Pocatello, Idaho, and back toward Boise County. As much as an inch per hour has fallen in some of those areas, and we could see some creeks on the rise and water over roadways. That's been the problem here around southern Wisconsin, and the flash flood warning still continuing here west of the Madison area, where we've had 3 to 4 inches of rainfall already and more still falling. More falling here around Florida. Boy, it's been a tough way to go here around the Naples area today. 6.5 inches and counting here, and more rain continuing to fall in this area has caused all kinds of flooding. So stay with us throughout the evening. Right now, here's weather caught on camera.
Destructive tornado, and it's on the southwest side of Joplin.
Epic storms. Harrowing escapes.
And that's when I was like, lights out.
Remarkable rides.
And right when I went out, the whitewater came down.
And unimaginable destruction.
There's somebody in here! Oh my God.
Stories from around the world.
And some players have been hit.
Of the commanding force of nature.
We would have been wiped out 5 minutes ago.
And the courage of those who witness it.
It's bad. It's really bad.
It's all next on Weather Caught on Camera.
Oh my gosh. The people have kind of panicked.
A city devastated by nature's power. And a hospital under siege.
I looked out and I thought, everybody's dead.
May 22nd, 2011. Storm chaser Jeff Petrowski and his wife and partner Kathy are racing toward Joplin, Missouri. A band of heavy thunderstorms has broken out across eastern Kansas and Oklahoma and is headed directly for this city of 50,000.
This was a day that was extremely unstable. The atmosphere was just ripe for very violent thunderstorms.
I remember telling Kathy, it's going to be a really, really bad day. As we come south into the city of Joplin, things were rapidly evolving.
There was a little bit of some triggering action. A little bit of a wind maximum came in high aloft, a little bit of a cold pocket at mid-levels of the atmosphere to add to the instability.
Suddenly, winds pick up and large hail begins to fall.
Oh my God, baseball hill's falling.
Watching how the trees are blowing in the wind, Jeff realizes that a major tornado is forming right before his eyes.
And that told me that all the air was flowing rapidly back southwest to this huge, large rotating wall cloud, because a tornado, when a storm develops, it's like a straw in a milk. You suck it up, it comes in from all 360 degrees, and it's going up rapidly. That is a recipe for a mega disaster.
Jeff sees a police car by the side of the road and warns the officer inside.
Hey guys, the tornado's trying to come down right here. It's coming on the ground right here. Hey, get the sirens going, get the sirens going.